Okay, well, this is very cool. We have turned our studio into a mini art gallery this morning. We are looking at historic works by Canadian artists, as well as some very rare international art by Van Gogh and Renoir. All of this is coming up for auction soon. So art specialist and president of Cowley Abbott, Rob Cowley, is here with more this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Anne-Marie.
Thank you so much. I mean, you and I have been chatting about some of these incredible works of art. Let's talk about the Canadian art first and start with this piece by Emily Carr.
Yes, we have this. It's a fantastic canvas by Emily Carr. It's actually featured on the cover of our auction catalog this season. It's entitled Wind. So it's a 1936 canvas by Emily Carr. These are the kind of works that collectors really cherish. It is a BC forest scene. So Carr would often go into the forests and paint these works. What you see is a very young tree in the center, surrounded by a very, the older forest around. And yeah, high demand for this work presently.
Can I point out something that's really unique, which you wouldn't see at home? I'm going to get you to come over here, Rob, so I can let Sherman in behind, because the frame that you see on the front is actually not the original frame, but you've preserved it there in the back. I don't know if you can see it at home, but it's like a different color almost here.
It's a silver frame.
I won't touch it, but it's here on the side.
So it's actually a silver frame, and Carr actually used it as a stretcher. And then she actually titled the painting Wind. She was actually in the hospital at the time. So the painting was brought to her in the hospital. She titled it Wind, and it was actually under consideration for purchase by the National Gallery of Canada during the 1930s.
It is an incredible piece, and I'm thrilled that it's here in the studio. Another great Canadian artist behind you. This one is Lawren Harris. Over 100 years old, I think, is this one.
So, 1925, so just over 100 years old. It's a Lake Superior oil sketch by the artist. One of the most sought subject matters by Lawren Harris. This was the region where he really started moving from representational work, almost becoming, you can see how the land is almost made up of shapes and forms. So very beautiful work. They're in high demand. These works routinely exceed expectation when offered at auction. So we're delighted to be offering this painting.
The color in these up close is so unbelievable.
It was a transformative place for him, absolutely.
You can see it. Okay, this one is very exciting for me. This is a Van Gogh.
Yes.
It's been amazing just to stare at this and go, his hand made this, but tell us the story that makes this so valuable.
So the subject is actually Dr. Gachet. So Dr. Gachet cared for Van Gogh in the final months of his life regarding his mental health issues. And Dr. Gachet was known not only as a physician, but also as an art collector. And he had an interest in art. He had his own printing studio, a small printing studio, and he gave Van Gogh the materials to create this etching. This is it's part of a series. It's the only etching Van Gogh ever produced, and it was produced in the final couple of months of his life.
Yeah, you were saying he came out of the asylum.
Yes.
And then made this, but he was in the asylum after the ear cutting off.
After the attempt that he had made, and which included the mutilation of his ear. Yeah, the unfortunate, very famous, of course, act on his ear, the injury to his ear. And so after that, his brother made the arrangements with Dr. Gachet to spend time with Dr. Gachet. And that is the subject, that is Dr. Gachet. But people also point out the fact some of his most famous portraits were of Dr. Gachet. And you also look at this work, there's a sadness to it that also reflects Van Gogh himself.
Yeah.
So very, very rare.
Like you were saying, just months before he died.
Just months, 2 months before his death.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And then this, to have, I'm conscious of my elbows that I don't knock this over, but this is a Renoir. To have it here in the studio is incredible, but it's also incredible that it's here in Canada.
Here in Canada, very, very rare. The last time that a painting by Renoir was really offered in Canada was about 20 years ago, just over 20 years ago. A beautiful painting. It's from the south of France, the Mediterranean area of the south of France. It's called Le Midi. So Le Midi, the region of Le Midi, it was called that, and it is called that because the light is so strong in that area. It almost gives the sense that it's noon all the time.
Wow.
And so he was quite taken by this area and created these beautiful, really almost overly impressionistic scenes of this incredible region of France. And so we're very excited to have this painting with us this season as well.
Okay, you have a little test for me. Based on the stories that you have told me, I'm going to try and select which I think is probably the one that will go for highest at the auction or the highest valuation. Which one do you want me to pick?
Well, we could do the highest pre-sale estimate.
Highest
All four
pre-sale
are
estimate.
exceptional works, highlights of our sale. But in terms of the four, after what we've talked about, I don't know if you have any sense of the possibility of the work that might have the highest estimate.
I don't know if you know this about me, but this is not my regular job. So I'm going to say, it's between these two. I'm going to say the Van Gogh because of its rarity.
So a great guess, it is not. Because, and the reason for that, one of the factors we take into account is the fact that it's an etching. So a type of print by any artist is going to carry a little bit less value at auction than a painting. Paintings by Van Gogh have exceeded over $100 million at auction. This etching, which is one of the most rare etchings you'll find in art period, carries an estimate of $150,000 to $250,000. The Renoir painting is the same estimate. It's a smaller painting by the artist, so size plays a factor when we're valuing a work of art.
Interesting.
And it's actually the works by Harris and Carr that they share an estimate of $500,000 to $700,000. The work by Lawren Harris, we've had similar exceptional Lake Superior sketches exceed $1 million at auction in recent years. So we could certainly see that estimate of $500,000 to $700,000 exceeded. Emily Carr's work, she was the first female artist to exceed $1 million at auction in Canada. This is $500,000 to $700,000. These types of works have also exceeded $1 million. Actually, in the studio, we had a work a few years ago that we sold for over $3 million. So we could very well see any of these works exceed expectation, given the rarity and the importance. But $500,000 to $700,000 for these two, and $150,000 to $250,000 for the two international works.
We've had a lot of really cool things come through the studio, but this is pretty impressive. How do you ensure that they leave here in as good a condition as they arrived?
We're very, very careful, not only in terms of our, of course, utmost care for the artwork and the trust from the consigners, but also our insurance company also wants to make sure that we're treating the artwork very well. But yes, we're very carefully packing these works. They'll move back to the gallery, and we're previewing in the gallery that's open to the public Monday and Tuesday, as well as Wednesday morning.
Oh, that is just incredible, even the fact that it's open to the public. Art specialist and president at Cowley, Abbott, Rob Cowley, thank you so much for bringing 4 of your closest friends into the studio with you. The pieces here are up for auction. That will start May 27th, and you can go to the website for more information. We'll be right back.